Do you feel that? Do you sense that sensation? Do you smell what the tuna is cooking? I am Big Tuna, and this is technically our first official stream of the, I guess we can call it the new calendar year for football, because the official Rams calendar, or as my co-host Sheriff Joe Bags puts it, the hit list is out for the Los Angeles Rams. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing, man. First of all, the new league year begins on March 15th. I don't know what you were doing that day, but I was celebrating Happy New Year. 2 p.m. local time for myself, dude. That's when I was fired up about it. But yeah, man. So I think it's funny to get the schedule because inevitably there's always like, now we get like record predictions and stuff like that. And I do realize that like timing on certain games certainly matters, but we already knew the opponents and locations of these games, except for like Jacksonville, that game obviously being in London. But I think it's funny to see people like that. Like now they see our schedule like, oh yeah, I see like 13 wins. It's like, dude, the opponents are the same. Nothing changed, man. Like it's so funny.
And if they are like me, it's those predictions are coming like it's funny if you post it on social media and like people like will critique it, break it down, like it'll be posted on Reddit, it becomes like 100 comment chain where people are talking about it all day. It's like, dude, some guy that's like just like me is sitting on the couch at 9 p.m. eating an ice cream. Like, yeah, this is what I think. Like, it's zero expertise, zero logic put behind it. Like, it's just something to get us through the day.
I kind of absolutely love it. This is schedule release is always one of my favorite things. Even though it is like I think the least favorite part about the schedule release is that like 2-3 hours ahead of time, you get people being like on Twitter, be like, this game's this day against this opponent. And it's like, okay, why can't we just wait, dude, for the whole thing? Why are you trying to do this? And I will say, and I'm not going to call out anybody specifically, anything like that, but I will say the kind of people who share and try to spread leaks never surprises me. That's all. It's like, that checks out.
It doesn't move the needle for me. Like I don't get I think maybe it's a me thing. I just don't get as excited as other people of like knowing, yes, I know exactly what I'm doing 5 months, 3 days, and 2 hours from now. It's like, dude, I don't even know what I'm having for breakfast today.
And I'm already awake, man. So the schedule, man. So obviously there's a lot of conversations going about the schedule here. We do have a payo time popping into the comment section, by the way. We're gonna pull up this one. We're super happy the schedule was fully leaked like an hour before it came out. Yeah. The thing was too, is it like they kept on,
it was incorrect.
There was a leak that was incorrect, and everybody was like, oh, I got the schedule fully confirmed. And it's like, well, it was close. Like,
yeah, it was close, but then the glaring issue right away, I was like, yeah, there's no bye week after the London game. I was like,
it was a home game after London. Like I could have seen an East Coast game after London, but no, not all the way home for that.
If you have it, you want to pop it on screen here? Do we have it? Ready? Let's pop it up.
Let me pull up a different screen.
Or do you want me to?
Oh, I can actually I'll do this one. You know what? Screw it. We're doing this one here. Let's see.
Screw it. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. We're gonna share this one. Okay. Oh crud. Now I can't see. What if I do this? Oh, okay, I can't see. Okay. So that's Peo said he deleted his video on the leak. That's hilarious. All right, so we're talking about this bad boy here. So opening here, we'll go. We don't have to go like game by game here, but opening here with 2 AFC opponents is rather interesting to me. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second here. My brain is not working for this right now. I'm gonna pull this off here. I'm gonna pull it up on a different screen.
Okay.
And we're gonna probably do this a little different. This is what you call watching the sausage be made, I think.
Sausage sounds good this morning. In a world of tuna, I got a new shirt.
Yeah,
I'm a big Jujutsu Kaisen fan, so I finally got a JJK shirt. I'm excited.
Fire. I'm wearing my Colorado Rockies shirt because I'm trying to let everybody know that I am indeed a Rockies fan on this year. That way, nobody can ever say that I'm a fake fan.
Or when you guys finally get wins, poor bloke.
Dude, I've been to one Rockies game in like a billion years, and it was the 21-0 game.
Ay.
Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Okay, here we go. This is a preseason that we are putting our eyeballs on, right? Wait. I hope I did it wrong again. Hold on. Not that one.
Yeah, we got
Hold on. It's going so well. All right. New sausage. There we go.
Preseason. There we go. Okay.
All right. Okay. So preseason here. We've got, of course, Dallas coming to town. Chargers. We'll always kind of get either burned on that one or helped by that one. Either it's a bonus home game or we lose a home game. Or you get it. And then we're going to Cleveland, which is a little bit unfortunate. I was really hoping we'd get a Denver trip out of this preseason. But either way, that's going to be a good one. Chances I try to go to that one just because I love the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I would love to make that little drive down there. So opening here with the schedule, we do, like I said, start with two AFC opponents, hosting Houston, CJ Stroud coming to town, and then to Tennessee. So I feel pretty good about these games, but again, AFC opponents, those are always going to be tough because you just don't really know each other that well, man. How you feeling about the opening here?
More so like the opening month, like those first 4 weeks. Yeah, you got three of the 4 AFC South teams. I like my first thought is first game actually I think is going to be a banger. Two really good teams. I like watching the Texans. Hopefully they've got their quarterback, or hopefully his sophomore slump continues for one more week as they figure some things out. Week 2 is kind of what I have my eyeball on. I like it because I always get afraid of our team playing against rookie quarterbacks because like that feels like, hey, this is the week where they figured things out. Look at Drake May last year. Drake, we caught him later in the season. He just had a great game rushing too. It's like we didn't really have an answer for him on defense. Like we ended up closing it out on defense, but he had a pretty decent game. You want to catch the rookies early in the season when they're still figuring shit out and they're still susceptible to getting a lot of sacks. So
and I don't know who Tennessee plays first, but that'll be interesting to see, like, what they're coming off of, and then having to deal with Jared Verse and stuff like that coming off the edge there. So this next game here is my biggest gripe of the entire schedule. Week 3 at Philadelphia in the early time slot. A swing and a miss by the NFL schedule makers, to be completely honest. And this is not just me trying to be Rams bias or anything like that. This is blatantly a primetime matchup considering what we saw in the playoffs this last season. So this being early season, early window, I think a bit of a dud of a time slot for this matchup, man.
Yeah, instead they're going with who's the late game? This is last year. Who's in the late slot instead? 2025 week 3 schedule. Here we go. They chose to have Chiefs at Giants Sunday Night Football.
Cool. Sweet. The Giants host a primetime game the same week that we play what probably, in my mind, our most exciting matchup of the whole season.
Just to have the Chiefs. The Monday night game makes a lot of sense, though. Like, I would love to watch Lions at Ravens. That's going to be a banger.
Yeah,
that's a great game.
Honestly, though, yeah, I think that Rams at Eagles being in the early time slot kind of gets shuffled in with the bulk of the matchups that day. I think is just such a swing and a miss by the schedule makers, man. I've been pretty vocal about that. That's such a primetime matchup. That should have been week 1. I think Dallas is a below 5 win team, so to see them get the opener, I think is going to be rough. My prediction on that game is already 34-10. I just think that game will be over by the end of the second quarter, and then we're going to be like, everyone's gonna be like, well, football's back, but too bad it was a bummer of a game. And then this game, I think, is still, even in its time slot, I think it's going to be one of those games that is absolutely incredible. And then at the end of it, it's gonna be that conversation of like, oh, that should have been a primetime game for sure. So
it needs to be prime. It should be the Sunday night game. And I don't know how they feel about having, we need to have the Chiefs on because it's going to get clicks, like it's going to get watches. Yeah. I get it. But my other gripe, just looking at this week, it kind of reminds me, I have a huge issue, and Pat McAfee talked about this a bunch. What the fuck are we doing with the division of times? Like, just split it down the middle. Have half the games played in the afternoon, half the games played in the evening. Having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in the morning. So we're going to miss 16 other teams play watching the Rams, and then there's only 4 in the afternoon. Like
Well,
it
I mean,
always like comes down.
I
I don't get
see
it.
it. I see it, but also, I mean, you got to think of local times here. They try to make them as close to 1 o'clock local times as possible, and 1 o'clock on the East Coast is 11 or is 10 o'clock for Pacific. I don't know, man. So I don't hate that. Actually, I like it loaded up in the beginning, and also mainly because the Rams are in Los Angeles. So when we get our matchups, typically we're not fighting against as many games, and we can be on TV. So actually, I'm a fan.
I can understand that point. I took it from his because they're in the Midwest or closer to the East Coast, and they have the same gripe. Maybe not from a time perspective, but just I think trying to, if you're like us nerds trying to watch every single game, when you got 10 in the morning, it's like I can't, dude. And if a red zone only goes so far, like you really can't watch every single game. Like it's really
That's
hard.
true. But if the Rams
That,
are on,
that
that's the only game I care about. I don't
yeah,
even care
personal
about
gripe.
the other teams.
Personal gripe. Moving on.
Yeah, hosting Indianapolis, so another AFC matchup here to begin. We do get all 5 of our AFC matchups in the first 7 weeks, so we just get those knocked out, which is cool, but also whatever. I mean, I would have liked to see a little bit more spread there. Again, it feels like the Rams schedule. I don't know if I said this actually on air. It feels like the Rams schedule is a little bit of an afterthought that like they filled out the rest of the schedule and then it was like, oh, well, the Rams schedule is this now, I guess. But Indy coming to town. This should be a solid one. We'll see if I mean that's already week 4, dude. We'll see if Richardson can even hang that long into the season. That's pretty far in week 4. I don't know. He might be gassed by then, so we may not even see him. So that's good.
Yeah, heading into the second month, technically, or second quarter of the season of the schedule, going through that first week, obviously you're hoping to sweep the AFC teams, like hoping to, like it's never a given. I get it. You really don't know how good these teams can be. That Philly game is going to say a lot, though. Like that, I'm glad it is early, so that way there's no injuries. Hopefully there's no injuries.
I like that it's really because of weather. I didn't want to see another snow game. I wanted that game to be, 75 and sunny, and I think that that's going to be the case now. So yeah, it's like put us in decent weather and let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Because I feel like they definitely had a bit of an advantage there. But then obviously coming back against the Colts, the early part of the schedule is pretty solid. Thursday night against San Fran, that's a little bit of a bummer. I have this in my podcast, the Ram Showcase episode that'll be out today. I talk about this, that I like Niners week so much that I hate when it's Thursday because it's over quicker. Like I like that to be extended out. I like that trash talk. I like the fun of that week in the lead up of the Niners
That's
and Rams.
fair.
So that being on Thursday, that's my only gripe with that. Is it like I love to just kind of sit in that and just like let that week come to me, man. So Thursday,
Bask in the hate.
Yeah. And their new $50+ million quarterback that we'll talk about here a little later. But we'll see what those Niners bring, man. And that next up at Baltimore, man, we've had some crazy Baltimore matchups over the last few seasons. That one where they absolutely beat the butt cheeks off the Rams on Monday Night Football at the Coliseum, and then just some real tight games. Obviously, the punt return for a touchdown for the Ravens to win. So it feels like we owe them one, man. We need to give them a little bit of a body shop at another early slot here for an incredible matchup, which again is a bit of a bummer. I feel like this is another primetime matchup.
It should be a primetime matchup because if you really believe in the Rams and in Baltimore is going to believe in themselves every year they have Lamar Jackson, and they should. If I had to root for one AFC team, it probably would be the Ravens. Like it is such a fun team to watch. Derrick Henry's a beast. I love Lamar Jackson. I'd give him MVP every year. Like he is so phenomenal to watch. Like it is a freak athlete. That's that second like quarter of games, man. I think that is, without even looking at the rest of it, that is a tough slate. And you think of how the team has performed in the opening 2 months of the past 2 seasons, where we've been talking about it over and over about how we started versus how we finished. That going like 4-3 or even 3-4, if the ball tips the wrong way in one game, that could happen. Like I don't want to be a downer on everyone saying, "Oh, hey, we're gonna go 13-4." I hear you. I'm right there. Like, trust me, this is Super Bowl or bust for this team.
I don't see a loss.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 17-0. But going 4-3 or vice versa in that first 2 months, like just based on like you're the Super Bowl champions. You got weird AFC teams that you really don't know that well. You get a weird rookie game. Houston is a good team. It's Niners week. It's always fucking hard playing the Niners on a short week.
Every time.
The Ravens are really good. And then you got to go all the way across the map of the fucking globe to go play Jacksonville
against a team who's doing who's in the right direction here. I mean, I love their
coach.
I love their new GM. I've always been a fan of their quarterback. They got Travis Hunter, the best player in the draft, in my opinion. This is good. They're going to be a decent team. Like, I think last year I had Washington. Washington was the team that I was pounding the table for all offseason. Like, this team improved like crazy, guys. And I kind of had some people agreeing with me. Some people were like, no, rookie quarterbacks, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, Bobby Wagner, Austin Eckler. I mean, they brought in some really good people. Jacksonville is that team for me this year. I think Jacksonville is headed in the right direction. Jacksonville and actually New England, I think, are the two teams that I think are most improved from a year ago. But Jacksonville going over to play the Jags in London, that's not going to be a cakewalk. This is not going to be like a 2-touchdown game. This is going to be a tight game, I think, and it's very, very exciting, but also so early, dude. So early in the morning. We gotta wake up for this one, man. 7:30 for me, 6:30 for all the LA locals here. But I will pound beers at 7:30 in the morning. I will do this.
I'll pound pancakes. Like I'll pound some French toast. Like that's brutally early for me, man.
Maybe I'll start.
I think my prediction, if we can come out of that first 2 months 5-2, I think we're on track because you can't win every game. You have to look at it in sections. I think 5-2 coming back, you have enough momentum. You got to win the London game, go into the bye week, opposite of constantly losing in the first 2 months.
Yeah,
and then head into the second half of your schedule. I think that's
JB had a great point on this section here of the schedule. You can see right here. So bye week, and then you got the Saints, and then the trade deadline. So you get the bye week, and then you also get what is, let's call it what it is, a little bit of a bummer of a team in the New Orleans Saints, a team that we should be able to beat. They have no quarterback, you know what I mean? So
a get right game if you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And off the bye. And then depending on what you're looking like in that situation, like something that Jordan had mentioned too, it's like maybe this isn't something, maybe the Rams don't have 2 first-round picks so that they can move up in the draft to get a quarterback next year. Maybe it's at this time slot right now, after this game or just before this game, that they say, if we can get this position solidified, we can make a push, use one of those first, send it out. We can already see how Atlanta's doing, so we can see which first we're considering is going to be better or worse or anything like that. Send that bad boy out and maybe go for it. And that's why I think ultimately this team is in a position to shoot for it this year. And this is the window right here. This time slot is where we will really know how the Rams front office is feeling about the rest of the season.
And maybe we could say that for next week. Maybe that could be our conversation of like, okay, who are some of those trade targets? Because I see a comment here and there. Like, I know Trey Hendrickson over in the Bengals is going through his BS with his contract because the Bengals don't like paying people.
Yeah.
Is Jair Alexander moved from Green Bay by that point? Do we go get Anthony Richardson and just let him be a project? Like, what are we talking about? Like, who's really? I have zero idea who they go get.
And I don't think that Miami is looking for a 1 for Jalen, but I mean, if we have the firepower to do that trade too right now, if we wanted to, you know what I mean? So, a lot of moving pieces there, but continuing here.
Oh my God. I have to read this for you. I'm so sorry since you brought it up. This is from a month ago. So take it with a grain of salt from Fox Sports. So one player on every team that is a trade bait, potentially, blah, blah, blah. I think this is before the draft too. Guess the one player from the Rams.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to guess Tutu.
Cam Curl.
Really?
This is Fox Sports. This is a major media conglomerate.
Weird, man.
Yeah. So, that's anyways, continue. Sorry.
Okay. Moving on, man. We got New Orleans. I mean, that's a game. They are an NFL team, so you never know. Obviously, there's nothing.
That's a game. That is a NFL team.
Yeah. We head up to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers in the Field of Genes. Yeah, just another Niners week, man. We get them knocked out, though, in the first 10 weeks, which I think is a little interesting, man. And I will say that I think the schedule makers, we haven't gotten there yet. I think we all know what the game is, but I think that they did do the right thing with the Week 18 matchup, because I do think that those will be 1 and 2 in the NFC West, but not going to be taking on the 49ers late season. So we'll be wrapped up with them by Week 10, man. How do you feel about that?
I like it. I don't like playing the Niners late in the season, just because being a NorCal boy, born and raised,
Mm-hmm.
I do know the weather in the Bay Area could start getting a little sloppy. We saw it last year,
Yeah.
in that really low scoring game with them. People really forget about it. But the Bay Area, I mean, it can get wet. Like you constantly got the fog rolling in to late mornings, early evenings. That way you get it out the way, no slippery grass, no slippery turf, and yeah,
Swim to the
potentially.
lighthouse.
And if they are good, we're avoiding their second late season surge, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how they are, man. We've all got our predictions. Everybody's got their vibes and stuff like that. I'm not super high on them this year. I think that we see something decently similar to next year, pending health, of course. But this game here, man, this game obviously being talked about quite a bit. The return of one Cooper Cup to SoFi Stadium, Week 11, as the Seattle Seahawks coming down to town. This will be an interesting one, man. I think that ultimately we will see. It's going to confuse the media. I think it's going to confuse the television aspect of it when I think Cooper Cup comes out, and I think that the fans yell Coop. I think that that's going to happen, and they're going to be like, are they booing or are they cooping? And no one's going to know, but it's Rams fans are going to know. That's just a little bit of a nod of a Coop, and then we hope he gets absolutely smoked on the field. So there's that part.
Every catch he makes, it's gonna be everyone's still gonna do Coop, but it's gonna be like heads down, like Coop. Like it's gonna be a really low tone.
I guess Coop. Like
I like it though. It should be fun. I think the Seahawks are gonna be good.
Yeah, they'll be decent.
Yeah.
Depends on Darnold, man. It all depends on Darnold. Was Darnold good because he had KOC calling the shots and running that show, or has he actually turned a bit of a corner? Has he matured as a quarterback? This is when we get to know that answer for sure. So
yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Fair. Tampa,
prime time action at SoFi Stadium. As Tampa Bay coming to town. Baker making his return, man. So pumped about that. That's gonna be really fun, man. I think it Baker's one of my all-time guys, man. I think he's so cool.
Oh yeah.
The fact that he came to the Rams, even if it was just for those 4 games, I love it. I think that's cool as hell. So yeah. I got nothing negative to say about Baker. Mike Evans is also, I mean, he's one of my Aggie guys. So I mean, solid team, man. They're actually really good, I think. But they're one of those teams that they can be one of the best teams in the NFL, but they can also be one of the worst teams in the NFL. They're very difficult to pick when it comes to, selecting games. But this will be a fun one, man, in primetime.
Exciting. This is a game that's on my radar to definitely go to. Like I want to go to at least one primetime game. This is the one that I'm most excited about.
Nice.
This and the Detroit game, like just to make sure there's enough Rams fans in the stands for this one to return the favor for all the booing they've given Stafford the last 2-3 years.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That is 2 that I'm also looking at too, man. So that's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Back-to-back road games after hosting Tampa Bay in primetime, off to Carolina, which is a team that is loaded with former Rams. That's for dang sure. We got Nick Scott, Christian Roseboom, Bobby Brown. Who else? I'm sure there's others, man. I'm sure there's
ex-coaches too. I think there's a few ex-coaches over there. That's going to be a tough game. Hot take. I think the Panthers and Buccaneers, I think those are the 2 that are going to be fighting for number 1 in the South over in the NFC side. That's my hot take.
I think that NFC South is going to be a wildly entertaining division. I think the Saints are a team that I don't really trust, and it's mainly because their quarterback position. And I do kind of anticipate some kind of move there. Like I'm saying that like they don't have a quarterback, so like that. I do anticipate that it's possible that Jameis Winston makes a return, something like that. That they make a trade for somebody to kind of to fill that slot for at least the year, while they kind of assess and address that that position. But Carolina, I think, is going to be a much improved team. I think they're one of those teams that I think are getting overlooked, but I also don't think that they're going to be like, I don't think that they're going to have like a Washington like turnaround where they're all of a sudden, looking at 12, 13 wins. But I think that them putting up an 8 or 9 win season is a huge win for that fan base and that team. And I can definitely see that happening. So.
See, I think they'll be borderline 10 wins, and same with the Buccaneers. I think you're around 10 wins. It comes down to like one game, maybe between those two for the titles. But
well, I did literally just say 8 or 9. So if they win one more than that, I wouldn't be like, oh, hey, I was wrong. Like,
hey, math is hard for me. Math is hard for me.
This one here, man, at Arizona. This is also a game that I am looking at going to. And I'll say this: it is. You know what? I know some fans hate me saying this, but it is to show a little bit of love to that stadium and to that city for what they did for us in the playoffs. That's fair, it, man. Yeah. That's one of my things, man. And I think that's cool. I even liked it on our schedule release video. Brenda's song, she was even like, "No jokes, okay, let's," and then just moved on. I thought that was thought that was cool, man. But yeah, that's one. It's also one of the closer venues to myself. Outside of Denver. So yeah, I want to make the trip for that one, man, out to Arizona. I don't really trust Arizona that much, but I do think that they get second place in the division. They are my pick for being second behind the Rams. I'm not sure if that's a wild card slot or not because the NFC is so strong. But this being in week 14, I do think that this will have playoff implications. And then the next few will as well, that you can kind of see here on the schedule. But in Arizona, that is going to be a tough game. Probably bone on bone for the uniforms, right? Is that just kind of what we do there?
Oh yeah, you got to go through with the bone zone for Arizona. That's a given. I love it. Bone zone, baby.
This feels dirty. Yeah, man, going from Arizona to back home to against Detroit. That's going to be a solid little twofer there. And actually, I'm kind of trying to see if I can work it out where I can go to Arizona and then go to LA for the Lions game. That's kind of like a dream scenario for myself. But man, this is going to be such a good game. Of course, the Lions have been able to squeak by the Rams the last few times we've seen them. This is going to be the third matchup in, was it two years? I don't know. It's we're getting familiar a little bit with the Detroit Lions. So this is going to be a fun matchup. And in December, I feel good about it, man. December Rams are a pretty damn good football team, historically speaking.
Yeah, this is a really tough final 6 games to close out the season. 7 games. Like to go prime time Buccaneers, who are probably a playoff team. Carolina, like I said, Arizona twice. If they're second, that means they're fighting for first. That's tough.
Yep.
Detroit, we're assuming, is going to be a tough team under Campbell. And then who knows what Seattle is. This division game is always weird. And then who knows what Atlanta's doing. But I think Michael Penix is a pretty good answer down there. I have a lot of faith in him. But
it's Raheem versus Sean. So I think that's like a really big matchup there with the chess match of the play calling. Not just the players on the field, but the game plans going into that game, I think, are going to be very critical.
Yeah. I think it's just a tough slate to close out the season. Here, if the team can show obviously more wins than losses is always good. But how they beat a lot of these teams is really going to show, hey, is their seeding matching up with how they're performing going into the playoffs? Are they limping in? Are they dominant in, second, third seed? Like, hey, you don't want to play the Rams. Finishing hot like we have the last 2 years with this schedule, all health. Obviously, we don't know if these teams are going to be ass next year. Assuming they're going to be good, you got to feel really good as a Rams fan. I'm excited. That's all I got to say.
I'm excited. We get our 5 AFC matchups in the first 7 weeks. We got 4 of our final 6 that are on the road, which I think is real tough. Those 2 in week 16, 17 on the road, and then coming back to end it against Arizona. I mean, that's not That's not a layup there. And that's coming off of Detroit. It is. Once we hit the bye week, it definitely gets. Obviously you got New Orleans in there, but then it's tough, man. You're in San Fran, division games. Seattle, Tampa Bay is solid in prime time. We've already kind of mentioned Carolina, like you said, and stuff like that. Yeah, it is a tough schedule, but we also already knew our opponents. So we knew ahead of time that it was going to be tough. And also one thing that I'm looking at is like late season in Atlanta, or Seattle here. That could be potential rough weather game. Carolina, I mean, it's late November, so I mean, who knows? I don't really understand like the climate of that area. Never over there. But then really, other than that, really not bad weather options. I mean, obviously Baltimore, that's potential, but early October shouldn't be too bad. So I think I like that as well, that we really have an option of like one rough weather game, pending like a rainstorm and wind and all that, of course.
Not so much the weather that worries me. So I think the one thing that I was bummed out by was seeing the amount of distance traveled. And then I don't want to speak out of ignorance and say it's a direct correlation. I think there's questionable like research on both sides of the equation in regards to if there's a direct correlation between the amount of travel time a team has and potential injuries and fatigue and like outcome of their final results of the season. But the Rams, the only team that travels more than the Rams this year is the Chargers. They have 37,000 miles. Rams have 34,000. If you take out the London game and replace it with just going to Jacksonville for that week, we would still be 7th.
Yeah.
So it is, we have one of the most brutal travel schedules. Makes me a little worried, especially when you got a AARP quarterback like Matthew Stafford. No shot at Matthew at all, but AARP is a great program. It's rough, man. That's a lot of traveling. That's a lot of BS. Luckily our coaches are good and we'll have the guys ready, but hopefully the training staff has got them ready too.
That's ultimately it, man. Is that we don't pick the schedule. We don't get to decide when and where these games are played. We just got to knock them down as they tell us to. So that's why it's the hit list. Houston gets the unfortunate task of getting first dibs. But you know what, man? It's gonna be a good time, man. So before we hop out of here, man, we briefly had a quick little disagreements on division quarterback and his new extension. So let's talk about Brock Purdy and the AAV of 53 a year for the next 5. How do you feel about this contract for Brock Purdy, man?
I might be the only Rams fan that thinks like, yeah, that makes sense. Like it's about what I thought. I think it'd be around 50 million. If that's your franchise guy, if you think, hey, he can get it done, you're going to pay a guy. Is it a lot? Maybe you say yes right now. Like we say that with every franchise quarterback contract. It's like, wow, that's amazing numbers until the next 5 get paid. And you're like, oh, yeah, everyone else is getting paid 10 million more. I think you lock him up. He's proven he could win. I think it's a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, the guy's taking you to a Super Bowl. And I know what your argument's going to be. I don't want to tip the hat, but I think even if you make the argument of, oh, he's a game manager, like how many situations have other quarterbacks been in where the team's loaded where it's like, hey, dude, all you got to do is snap the ball and hand it off, and they fucking can't do it. Like you still got to go out there and do it at a high level. We've seen Jimmy Garoppolo not be able to do it. We've seen Trey Lance not be able to do it. And he did it as pick 262. Like I think a lot of credit has to go towards maybe they signed him the contract out of like a thank you for saving our jobs. Because let's be real, after the Trey Lance nonsense, that whole organization might have gotten tanked on how that went if Brock Purdy did not exist for them. So I think it's a good deal. I don't think their window's closed. You pay good quarterbacks. That's just my take. So
yeah, and I absolutely couldn't agree more. You pay good quarterbacks, which is why you shouldn't have paid Brock Purdy. He does not make the team better. The second he loses his run game, he's me out there, dude. He's not bringing anything special. He's not elevating his team. He's had, sure, like we can have that conversation all the time of like, well, a lot of teams have good weapons. Are we going to down Matthew Stafford because he's thrown to Puka and Devontae this year? Not at all. But but we've also seen Matthew Stafford take guys when our players are down and having some trouble here, that he's able to help other guys be better. And I'm thinking specifically of names like Kendall Blanton in that Super Bowl run where, I mean, Blanton, fine player. I don't have anything negative to say about Blanton, but let's call it what it is. Matthew Stafford made him better during that run. I think that Brock Purdy getting more than 50 a year is awesome. As a Rams fan, that's my perspective on it. Is I love this deal as a Rams fan. I think that they kind of burned themselves a little bit. I know that a lot of people are talking about, the range that he's in of quarterbacks as far as pay goes. In the skill set, I think he's on the low end of those guys. The Dax, the Jordan Loves, all those guys. I think he's worse than those guys. And I hate to say the term worse, stuff like that. I just think that those guys specifically are more talented, more experienced. I think they have better brains for it. And then you also just get the aspect of all those guys that are in that same pay range, no rings. And I think that that's not an accident.
I hear you. I think putting him in that category, I'm more down on Dak than I am on most other people, just because how many, like, he's a perfect example. I think he is the bar set at he's the Daxus, the 16th quarterback, 16th quarterback in the league. He's the bar. I think Purdy is above that bar.
Yeah, and I don't. That's crazy.
I'm looking at the receiving stats from last year. We can take, you can't take every year, unfortunately. When you're signing a contract, they are going to look at it. But I'm looking at this past season, outside of George Kittle, who I don't think is as like the best tight end in the league as people tout him to be. I think he's lost a step because of injuries. Juwan Jennings was their only real receiver. Deebo Samuel is a glorified running back. That's just his play style. Yeah. When they don't have an offensive line and you can't utilize a guy like Deebo, that's why they sent him out. Like, hey, this niche has been fun, but we're moving on from it because it's not effective anymore. You can elevate guys to a point, but if you just flat out don't have the bodies to put out there, I think a non-good, non-great quarterback in their situation last year would have caused 3 more losses, like just completely fumbled away. I'm thinking of God, who was our 2 years ago? What's his name that stepped in for the Green Bay game and fumbled like 3 snaps?
Oh, Rippon?
Yeah, I'm thinking of like a Brett Rippon. Like if you throw someone in there who's really not good, then
yeah, he is legitimately terrible.
they're like picking in the top 5 if they didn't have Brock Purdy last year. That is, and I hate that I'm going to bat for Niners, but one thing I always say that I love more than rooting for the Rams than football itself, number 1 is good quarterback play. And like I hate bad quarterback play. I don't hate watching Brock Purdy play. Like I get worried when I watch him playing against the Rams because I'm afraid this guy's gonna be accurate as hell.
Check down us to death, dude. I don't understand it, man. I don't. I'm far opposite side of you here, man. I don't get it at all, man. If he's got his outlet in Christian McCaffrey, yeah, he looks like a really good quarterback. He looks like he's reading the field, and then he's like, oh nope, nobody, go here. But the second that Christian McCaffrey, who may be done, let's call it what it is here too. Like he might have this Todd Gurley situation going where he's dealt with so many injuries, he might be done. And if he is done, Brock has no outlet. He doesn't have his person to kind of dump that ball off to. So I don't see it, man. I think that he's the check down master. I think that he is, the second you take away his weapons, he looks lost. And this is coming for, like, I'm not a scout or anything like that, but when I watch the all 22s of the 49ers play, I see nothing from Brock Purdy where I'm like, oh, snap. Like, none of that happens, dude. It's just like, oh, yeah, he's just playing quarterback, man. He is to me, he is like the Sam Darnold. He is Geno Smith. He is Kyler Murray. He is Dak Prescott. He is Derek Carr. He is just in that middle pocket of NFL quarterbacks, and I think he's being paid way too much money for what he brings to the table.
One thing we can agree on, though, is that is a lot of money. And we will be talking about this 20 years from now of like the highest paid Mr. Irrelevant to ever exist. Like, I don't think anybody can top this.
Yeah.
To go from pick 262.
David Vobora wasn't in line for this kind of money.
Think about that, though. That's insane. Like, you were the last pick in the draft, and now you've got $250 million. That's crazy.
Does he still have a roommate?
Probably, bro. San Francisco is, or I guess Santa Clara. Santa Clara is expensive still.
his roommate's sitting there like, nice.
Like, bro, I'm not paying for
Yeah,
groceries.
it's like,
Like,
dude,
no, it's all you.
it's like bad news for you. Actually, you need a new roommate. Is what. Oh, it's funny, man. Yeah, I get. We're just gonna have to disagree on our evaluations here of Brock, but I think the
Oh,
good
I'm
news
aware.
is
Yeah.
with his with this contract, we will over the next, I would say 2-3 years, we will know exactly who he is because
That's fair.
the
Yeah,
way
that's
that
fair.
money is getting dispersed, we'll see exactly who he is. And the structure of the contract is actually decently team friendly. I'll say that as well. That the bulk of the dollars get paid out. I think it's in the first 2 or 3 years. So ultimately, man, you look at the last 2 years of that deal could be, kind of pretty much scrapped for minimal loss
Mhm.
if if Brock's not doing it and they need to move on. So, but it is dependent on Shanahan and Lynch. That their jobs now depend on Brock Purdy 100%. If he's not the guy, they're going to clean house. If he is the guy, then they look like geniuses.
There is something that has to be said though about him, his existence. Like, imagine if they just didn't pick him at the last pick.
Mhm.
You can't sit here and say like, oh yeah, it's a 7th round pick. You can pick whoever. Like, no, teams care about every single pick.
Yeah,
They vet him out because you're going to have to pay the guy. He has to exist. You hope he makes the 53-man roster. Um, him being there during the Trey Lance debacle. Like, imagine if he's not. Who do they go to? Like that. This team.
I don't care.
No,
Screw
no, no. Here's the thing: we should, because I have a lot of respect for Shanahan. I think he's a better coach than a lot of fans give him credit for. Like, it meant like who
He's
if they
okay.
fired Shanahan, right?
Mhm.
Who do they go to? Like, who's in line?
Also,
You're gonna have to rebuild. That'd be good for us, for Rams fans. You
yeah.
don't want Shanahan here. Like,
Well,
you
I
don't.
mean, I don't hate how he manages games late when it's close.
That's fair.
I don't know, man. Like, I think that there's a lot of there's a lot of brains. There's a lot of moving pieces to it, obviously. But when you have a guy who I think is responsible for the 28-3, collapse,
Brutal.
being that
Yeah.
that was the score, they ran the ball. What is it? 7 times after that was the score. It's like, all right, dude, you just don't know what you're doing. I think you're just getting a little too cocky out here, trying to get a little cute. It's like
Brutal.
they said they could have taken a knee every single snap, and that would have killed the clock. That the Patriots would have run out of time if they just would have taken a knee and punted the ball
Yeah.
away every time they got the
I
ball.
The last thing I'll say on Shanahan though that I learned from Jordan Rodriguez, the play callers, that 5-part series.
Mhm.
I'm any man who purposely stands on his head, does a headstand before every game. I is a complete psycho, and I want nothing. I don't want to be around him. That scares me. Shanahan still does that to this day, by the way.
I mean,
That's insane.
a complete psycho in the sense of like, what the hell does that do for you, man? How does that help you?
Hey man, I've
I
had some hard days. You just want to feel something some days. Like, woo.
If my quarterback was Brock Purdy, I'd be looking for excitement elsewhere too. Boom.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Joe is hot
Dare
today.
you, by the way, on this Rams related show? How dare you try to make me be on the side of just the Rams and anti-Niners, man? What is going on here, dude?
Hey, I told you I am always gonna I love watching like my favorite all-time quarterback is Peyton Manning. I don't care how
Peyton's dope,
much I
dude.
love the Rams. Like,
Dude,
I would
Peyton's dope.
if he was playing against the Rams, I'd be like, that was dope. Like, that's a great play.
One of my all-time favorites is Donovan McNabb. Loved McNabb.
Loved him when I was a kid.
Yeah,
It was so
cool
fun to
guy,
watch
man.
him play.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I've always kind of I will say there's at least one player on every team that I'm a fan of. At least one.
Oh
That
yeah.
I'm just like, oh, that guy's awesome. I would love if he were a Ram. It used to be Kittle for the Niners. That's kind of faded off just because of, like you had mentioned, like he's definitely lost a bit of a step. But yeah, there's at least one on every team. Now for Seattle, it's just Cup. But it's like, yeah, that's the guy, man.
One of my all-time favorite players currently right now. Oh my god. Never mind, I'm drawing a blank because I haven't had enough coffee today. So scratch that. Ignore me.
One of my favorite players. I don't even know who he is. Come on, dude. What the hell is going on here? Good
Kyle
content,
Hamilton.
dude.
Sorry, Kyle
Oh my
Hamilton.
God.
Sorry. Kyle
Jesus.
Hamilton. I love how he plays DB. I'm sorry. We had a long day yesterday. I'm
That's so
recovering still.
dude. That is so funny. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We could go in on our favorite players league wide for all of eternity, but
I'm ashamed.
you should be. That was hilarious, man.
I'm
You're
ashamed of
sitting
my
here
people.
hyping Brock Purdy. You don't even know your own favorite players' names. Tuna. It's gonna be a good Saturday, man. We're gonna turn this bad boy around. It's gonna be an incredible day. All right.
What are the people saying? I'm done.
No one's saying anything. That's the no one's saying anything.
They're
So it's
watching our stupidity.
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, who's dumber, us or the people sitting here watching this happen?
Honestly, some of
All
the takes I like complete like jump into NFL media. Some of the stuff I see said during the offseason is incredible. Like, well, I just pulled it up. They're them saying that we should trade Cam Curl just because the passing defense was not good last season. Like, yeah, there's an argument to be made that it could increase, but yeah, let's give away one of the bright spots on
Yeah.
that makes zero sense.
I mean, and obviously corner is where we need to add if we're looking at, addressing secondary. It's weird to me that they would say like, oh, the secondary wasn't that good, so they should get rid of people. It's like, well, wait a second. That's not yeah, let's go to our backup so that we're better. And yeah, we have our safety depth is awesome. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
What is the reality that I know everyone is waiting for the Jalen Ramsey news to pop? I know there's a lot of traction, there's a lot of smoke there. Let's say it doesn't happen. Is Jalen Ramsey opening the season in Miami? Is he getting traded somewhere else? If he's not available, like, are they waiting until midseason to see like, hey, let's give these young guys another 7 weeks, and if not, cool, we do have those first rounders to make a big trade. There's I think a lot is riding on whether Ramsey happens or not.
I think it happens. I think that the situation that they're in, I think, is very much it's coming. And I think that we hear a Jalen Ramsey trade any day now. I think it'll be executed post June 1. But I do think that we've gotten the reports recently that the interest on Jalen Ramsey is high. There are a lot of teams that are interested in making a move for that. So the Rams definitely have some competition there, but I think that ultimately the Miami Dolphins are going to do right by Jalen and send him where he wants to go. And I think that Los Angeles, whether that be the Rams or the Chargers, makes a lot of sense. I think Vegas makes a lot of sense for Jalen. But I think that ultimately he'll want to go somewhere that is in a position to compete and in a nice city that he likes. So with that being said, I think that either of the LA teams are good options for him. The Chargers, I think, are going to be a really, really strong team this year. I know Rams fans hate that because they're our roommates, but I think we're both going to be incredible teams this year. Second-year Harbaugh teams do incredible things, like kind of like year one Wade Phillips teams go to the Super Bowls. It's like second year Harbaugh teams are very, very talented teams, typically, historically speaking. So I think he would get a chance to play with Derwin there, but obviously coming back to the Rams, he loves the Rams. He said to Devontae as soon as Tay came over that he was like, you're blessed, bro. Great team, great city. Like, yeah. Stuff like that. So I do think a move is made rather soon. I don't think he goes into the season as a Miami Dolphin. And fingers crossed that it's the Rams. I actually have a conversation. I think it's on this episode of Rams Showcase. I recorded most of it already. This is kind of a weird episode. I'm throwing in an extra segment, so it's going to be a little awkward. But I said it there where I really like I like our guys, our secondary. I like D. Will. I like Akello. I like Kobe. I like DK. I like them a lot more if they all slide down one slot. Like, I love D. Will. I love him as a 2. I like him as a 1. I like Akello as a 2. I love Akello as a 3. I like, you slide all those guys down by bringing in Jalen, and I feel really, really good about all of them. But where they're at right now, I feel like we can get better.
I agree. The way I look at it is from margins of error. Having someone better, having someone that is like an all-pro level at a certain level, it makes your margin of error bigger. So the current DB room as it sits, like, you're one injury away on any part of the defense. You're one bad game away from the pass rush, from the front seven, from the pass game not being great.
Mhm.
It's such a small margin of error. Like let's say for some, like week 3, like a week 3 could be a big exposed game for the defense. Let's say the
Yeah.
pass rush just is not getting home.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of guys on the island that maybe the pass defense is not that great. You add someone like a Jalen Ramsey, you add another pass rusher, like just anything at all, you make their jobs that much easier. Um, yeah, I really do believe that the margin of error for the secondary is tough, based on how it's currently set up. I got a lot of love for those guys. Like
Yeah,
I'm the biggest Quentin Lake fan. I think he does a great job. Like
it's
second
awesome.
led in solo tackles last year.
Mhm.
So
I like our safeties a lot, honestly.
yeah.
We'll end with this, man, because this is another bit of I don't want to say contentious, but uh, a lot of disagreements depending on which Rams podcast, YouTuber, content creator, whatever phrase you like. A lot of differing opinions here. So, who do you think is the starters at the inside linebacker position?
Oh, Landman and Spates.
Okay, so we are in agreement there.
Yeah.
Um, I see a lot of people that are like, Spates. Well, we're mostly in agreement there. I think that Landman and Spates are day one starters. I don't think it's impossible that Pooh comes in and takes a lot of reps. But I think that would be from Spates, not Landman. I think Landman is brought in to be a starter, and I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if he green dots for the Rams this year.
I think it'd be smart. I think it would, unless Spates just shows a huge jump
Yeah,
of like a knowledge of
which is certainly possible.
of all 3 levels of the defense of like, okay, cool, he's ready. But that's a lot to throw on a second year guy.
Hmm.
Landman has experience. He comes from a Coach Raheem Morris system, so he's going to be very familiar. Uh, I like Pooh. I like what he brings. I think he needs more polishing
Hmm.
than even Spates, because I think Spates has shown his ability to get downhill. I think Pooh is going to be great in pass down situations, though. I think he'd be better than Spates and Landman in pass down situations. His ability to blitz, his ability to spy, and his pass coverage, he's very sticky. Like I think there's a role for him to get significant playing time, but I think those are the 2 starters. I think it just makes too much sense.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I keep seeing people say, Pooh and Spates being the starters, and it's like, guys, Landman was not brought in to be depth. I don't see that.
And I mean, unless like training camp proves everything, like obviously
Sure.
that can be true and still not happen.
True.
Just like they probably had no inkling of like, hey, we're going to start Puka Nakua and throw him for 1,500 yards in his rookie year. But then training camp, it's like, I can't keep this guy off the field. Like somebody has to work their way to not be taken off the field until proven otherwise. So,
And what's good about that position too is that fans have been so frustrated with that position for so long that if you make some plays in preseason, fans are calling for you, and that's what we saw last year with Omar. So
all 13 of us in the stands. Yep.
yeah.
Selling your season tickets. Go to the games.
Honestly, dude, I saw this thing too. Like people keep they're like laughing and getting mad when they're like, Seattle is the most recent team to hop on and say, if you keep selling your tickets, we're pulling them from you. And people are like, what? That's ridiculous. And it's like, is it though? I mean, come on, guys. Like you have somebody like me who would be in my seat for every single game. I know I've got so much family in Denver that has season tickets, and when Denver did it, they were one of the first teams. A lot of people I know got improvements on their seats. They went from the 500s to the 300s. You know, like that, like major differences because they were like, we're done doing this. Like, stop buying season tickets just to make a profit. That's not what it's for. It's so that you can go to the games and So yeah, I'm for it, man. And yeah, Rams I think need to be a little more strict on it. Stop.
It is. It's a weird gray area because at the end of the day, if you buy them and they are your tickets, I mean, it is a free market. You can do whatever you want legally.
I have a
it.
solution, which is you can only sell them for face value.
That's fair. But then it's like, how do you control that?
You
Like
don't allow up marking up. Like it's just whatever you paid for that ticket, that's all you can sell it for.
Yeah. I get that because there's times where like you really can't go and you do need to sell them. Like what if there's a what if something happens where you can't go to any games for whatever reason?
Mhm.
I get it, life happens, but it is frustrating seeing other teams in the stands, like
Yeah,
people just buying the tickets for that. It's frustrating.
and if you can't go, maybe you shouldn't have the season tickets. Like if you're legitimately like in a spot where it's like, oh, I can't go anymore. It's like, oh, okay, well then it was fun having season tickets, I guess. Like let somebody else have them. Who's someone who's going to go, you know? So that's how I am feeling about that. This is our longest episode.
Is it?
Just yeah. We're at 50 almost 55 minutes here.
I'm gonna have to go here in a minute. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
I gotta get running.
Just yapping.
Yeah, I gotta finish up the Rams Showcase episode will be out today. So we're gonna be working on that.
Hey.
So yep, go Rockies.
Go baseball. Yep.
Yeah, I know you're not a baseball guy. Okay, what are we gonna what are we gonna do?
Dodger. It's my girlfriend's mug. I don't even.
Okay. What are we naming as we fade into the abyss?
Favorite quarterbacks growing up?
Growing up? Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael Vick.
I was just gonna say that. Cam. I mean, not that far off, but Cam Newton. It was still fun to watch him.
Nice. Okay. Give me Air McNair.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jared Lorenzen.
Oh, solid, dude. Hefty lefty. Dude, what a pool, man. I'm going to go Jay Cutler just because he made me feel like I could be in the NFL.
Hell of an arm. Oh my God. Hell of an arm.
Cool.
Not favorite, but he is a Super Bowl attending quarterback, Rex Grossman.
Super Super Bowl attendee. Oh man. I want to think, oh man.
It's hard on the spot, huh?
Cordell Stewart.
That's great. I'll go non NFL quarterback that I love growing up just because I want to say his name on air. Juice Williams out of Illinois.
Solid. Give me Stephen McGee. I'll go to call out.
I'll shout it out your way to Denver.